if anybody wants to start with a question, that'd be great.
You guys, the 4 3-pointers over about a 2.5-minute stretch, you guys were down by 2 and then you're down by 8. I mean, that was a pretty key stretch of the game.
It was. One of the 3-pointers was after it was a scramble, they got a 50-50 ball, which seemed like during that period, they were getting to all of them, whereas earlier, you know, it was back and forth. They got it, there was a scramble situation, they hit the 3. The one that Tashonis, the first one that Tashonis hit, it was a defensive miscue. I mean, you know, there was no reason that he should have been left open. The defender, I guess, just wasn't paying attention. He wasn't in a help spot, and you know, we call it a throwback lift. And you know, all year long, you know, we don't give those up, and we did, and that's the kind of thing, you know, when you're in a dogfight, you know, you can't afford to make that kind of a poor decision.
Coach, you just mentioned that it was a dogfight out there. Do you think VCU was out physicaling you guys, and do you feel like you guys might have not been physical enough?
I wouldn't say specifically physical, but I think toughness. You know, they kept us at times from entering into offense, and that's on our wings. They got to get open. You know, there is no excuse. They have to get open, and yet they put pressure, and you know, they forced a couple turnovers, but they kept us from, you know, getting into to offense. It's something we've talked about since whenever our last game was, but they won that battle. I think Stockard in the second half, clearly VCU made a concerted effort to go in there, and again, there was nothing, not a single one of his baskets, I would say, it wasn't a thing of beauty, but it was effective, right? And so, yeah, there was an element of physicality, but it was about toughness. It was about executing and getting things done. And ultimately, right now, as both of these teams, you know, sit here in December, they're better prepared to win that kind of basketball game. And that's where we've got to get better. And the only way you get better is our guys have to listen, right? Because clearly that didn't happen this week. And our guys have to, I think we've got to humble ourselves a little bit, right? And in order to listen and do the things, right? Not the kind of we want to, but do the things that win games, that aren't going to be in any headlines. They're not going to be a highlight film, but it's what wins basketball games. And if anybody wants to see, you know, wants to look, watch the film and see what Ace Baldwin did out here at both ends of the court. That young man has been out of basketball for however long with a torn Achilles, and he came in here and he was the tip of the spear for VCU at both ends of the court, right? And that, you know, that kind of toughness, you know, permeates and you know, it starts with him and goes and you know, that was the difference in us and them. We played hard. We could not have played any harder, right? But if you want to win against a quality opponent, playing hard is not enough, and that's where we've got to learn, right? We're capable. We've got to do it, but you know, I like our team. I told these guys I got their back. I love them, but we've got to learn.
After Austin's dunk in the second half, about as loud as it can get in here, and then within seconds the technical, and it kind of deflated everything. How much did that take the wind out of your team's sails?
You know, I don't know how to assess that, but you know, you go from a high to now, right? That's his fourth foul, and so that definitely affected how we were able to play down the stretch. We were enjoying some success after a bad start to the second half. We were enjoying success playing Kalu and Austin together, but when they both had 4 fouls, that was tough to do. But that's just an example, and, you know, that didn't lose the game, right? I mean, it's a great play by Austin, but it was also, you know, you can't do that, right? I mean, it hurt his team, you know, by doing that. And again, that comes down to being mentally tough and having some discipline, some self-discipline.
Coach, I don't know if you're a big plus-minus guy. I don't know if you're a coach that can.
No, I think that's a worthless stat.
But I think it's interesting, though, how you talk about Baldwin from VCU, and I look at the stat sheet, he was leading his team in plus-minus. You said he was kind of the centerpiece of their team tonight. Where do you think they challenge you guys the most, on the offensive end or the defensive end tonight?
I don't think it was either or. I mean, I think, you know, offensively, you know, they like to get up and down, but they showed that they can grind. You know, they pounded the ball inside, you know, and they made us pay. You know, they weren't always scoring, again, and I haven't had the breakdown in the analytics and all that in front of me, but, you know, they didn't have wasted opportunities, right? So pretty much every time down, they were getting a look at the basket. At the defensive end, they made us work for everything. And you know, we play defense differently than they do. But both teams play really, really hard. They do it with more pressure. You know, but down the stretch, it wasn't their pressure, right? They kind of backed off of that a little bit, and they sat down, and again, he was the tip of the spear.
CJ, you and I talked the other day about the rivalry games and what they mean to you. Does this hurt more because it's a local or a regional team and a rival, or because it's one you guys let slip away?
It's probably the same feeling, but it definitely hurts because I feel like we want control of the game. Definitely a wonderful game, and we just let it slip away.
I just gotta say, I hate that slip away, because it didn't slip away. They took it from us. We allowed them to take it from us. It didn't just slip through our hands, right? It was an active thing on their part, and you know, it didn't just happen, right? They took it from us.
Fair point.
What have you, you're midway through December, what have you learned about your team that you didn't know a month and a half or so ago, positive and negative?
I don't know. I mean, it's still a basketball team that I believe in. I think we've got a chance to be a pretty damn good basketball team, but it's still, you know, the learning curve. You know, maybe the thing that is we haven't, you know, we've got individuals, and then collectively we haven't learned as quickly as I would have hoped in terms of, you know, what really matters. You know, and again, style versus substance. You know, I'm siding on substance every single time. But we got to get everybody to buy into that. And when I say buy in, I'm not by any means saying guys aren't, but we haven't, you know, new pieces and all that kind of stuff, freshmen, you know, we've still got lessons to learn, and I think, you know, there's room for improvement. I think that's what the focus is, but we haven't gotten to that point. We're still in that process, probably along with a whole lot of other, you know, 250 other basketball teams out there in the country. But I don't give a damn about those other teams. I give a damn about ours. And we got to start learning some of these hard lessons. You know, when we're playing these teams that are quality teams, you know, but if we're going to have a chance to win, we have to be better.
CJ, from a player's perspective, what do you think, what's the first step for you guys to start learning, as Coach was saying, and to get better?
But like you said, we just need to be tougher. I feel like that's where they won the game at. In the second half, we weren't able to run our offense. Wings weren't able to catch the ball. I feel like we have all the pieces to be a great team and pull these games out. We just got to be better.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, CJ.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jeff.